Oliver Bearman has single-handedly had the most dreamiest start to his Formula One career by making his debut with Ferrari. Though a lot of people are still really critical and think his performance to be nothing spectacular, but I think otherwise. With just being called in to replace Carlos Sainz a couple of hours before the FP3 session, what he managed to do with such a little time is actually nothing shy of being impressive. I mean, the pressure that comes with driving by itself could crumble a driver's confidence and composure on track. But the fact that him being just 18 years of age and he made his debut with Formula One's Halo team, with the media all swarming around him and his garage, what he managed to deliver that weekend was nothing shy of being spectacular. He went into the quali session with a lack of understanding of the car that he kind of made a mess out of the session. But still, it's not the end of the world. He managed to qualify P11 and almost knocked out a 7-time world champion. He still managed to move up the field to finish P7 with having a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action on the race. So all in all, it was a pretty banger debut. I mean, just to put a perspective on his remarkable performance, a young rookie like him that's making his debut with Ferrari could have literally finished outside the points, not wanting to take risk by not pushing the car on one of Formula One's most demanding tracks. Or he could have crashed the car and ended his race early, which would have been the talking point for everyone. But he did neither one of those things. How he managed to execute that race was both mature yet fierce. He saw the bigger picture. It's definitely not the same situation as Nick De Vries. I mean, De Vries stepped into the Williams seat back in 2022 on relatively one of the most easy tracks on the calendar. And specifically driving for Williams, there is very less performance pressure, which is not the case here. He went for the gap that existed, but was wise enough to bail out of it when he saw that gap was closing, which was really mature of him. One thing that I was really worried about his race performance was his tyre management. I mean, we saw this being a problem for Oscar Piastri last year, where he was on pace with Lando under one lap, but come the race day, he was not able to stick with Lando due to his tyre degradation issues. But I was thoroughly surprised to see how good he was on his tyres. I mean, it's important to know that he went into the race still not having a proper read of the car, as he has not driven a Formula One car in a competitive manner up until that point. So he grew into that car lap by lap, and that growth structure was very evident when you look at his lap times. Each lap he was growing constantly. He did not put a foot wrong and executed a very clean race for Ferrari, which I'm sure is exactly what Fred Vasseur was expecting from him. We even saw relatively experienced drivers making mistakes by hitting the wall during the weekend, but him just having the FP3 session, and even that was cut short with Joe's crash. So he went into the race a bit compromised. Still, he delivered a very clean weekend. And in terms of setup, he should have ran either Leclerc's or Sainz's setup, or he should have just ran one of the default setups, which just makes me wonder what he could do with a custom setup where he could perfectly dial in the car to his preferences. I mean, it was a make it or break it kind of a chance for Oliver Bearman. One wrong move or a bad weekend could have literally hampered his chances of making into the Formula One grid. But still, he delivered a crackling performance. With that, I'm sure he has opened himself up to a lot of teams up and down the paddock who would love to have him as a driver for 2025 by taking him on a loan from Ferrari, as I'm sure Ferrari would not be racing with him for another 3 years at least, with Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari for 2025. So teams like Williams, RB, Haas, Sauber even would love to have him as their driver for 2025. He has proven himself to be a mature driver for his age and has proven himself to be a complete package as a racing driver. I would personally love to see him being paired alongside Alex Albon at Williams, as I see the team making the improvement to be better in the coming seasons than Haas, which will give him the motivation to keep the fire in him alive long term. So it's a slam dunk that we would see Oliver Bearman on the grid as a full-time driver from next year. I mean, if it doesn't happen, that would be a daylight crime. So I really hope it doesn't happen. I really want to see him on the grid for 2025. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and let me know down in the comments on what are your thoughts on Oliver Bearman's debut performance and how do you see him perform as a full-time driver on the grid in Formula One? And do you see him join Formula One as a full-time driver from 2025? And if so, what team do you think he would make his debut with? Leave it down in the comments. With that being said, subscribe to the Renmaster channel if you haven't already, and also hit that bell icon while you're at it so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And until next time, it's me Vinesh from Renmaster, and I'm out. Love you guys, stay safe, peace.